Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome to the Piper Report. So my microphone was closer to me now. People have been telling me they have been having trouble hearing me, although this only happens sporadically. Some people can hear me fine, others can't hear me at all. So hopefully, I am speaking louder right now, and my microphone is closer. So hopefully, you were able to hear me, and those that could hear me before, this isn't too loud for you. If it is, I have to figure something out because I'm not sure. Anyways, do you remember when Donald Trump said the only reason why he lost New Hampshire was due to voter fraud? And do you remember the corporate media, particularly those on the left, laughed at him and said his claims were groundless and baseless and there's no proof at all? Well, he may have been right, it turns out. And this is another reason why we have to reinforce the integrity of our voting system. That's why it is important to investigate all claims of voter fraud. And that is why you should have to have ID, proof of citizenship, that you are able to vote, that you are legally able to vote. And the reason why this is important, and first off, the big argument against this is that Democrats say that it is racist because those people in poverty, now, okay, here's where it gets funny. They say it's racist because those in poverty have trouble getting an ID. Well, that statement in itself is racist because you are presuming that it is minority groups that are in poverty-stricken areas. So right there alone is racist. So if they want to argue about voter ID, they should not bring race into it at all, or else they themselves are essentially indicating that they are also racist. They are no different than those they are accusing of being racist. So that's a little food for thought for them. But it's not hard to get an ID. You can literally get an ID for anything. You can get an ID for anything these days. And it's not like they cannot get an ID. Either themselves, they cannot get a ride there. They cannot take a taxi. They cannot walk there. Anyone can get an ID. And they say that trying to enforce voting laws, trying to enforce voter ID laws, actually attacks the integrity of our voting system of the United States. But in reality, it's the complete opposite. It ruins the integrity of the U.S. when people that are not citizens of this country are able to vote in this country's elections. That is the true opponent of our civil rights and liberties. That is the true crime against being an American citizen, of having that right to vote. People in our military and women during the Women's March, the egalitarian movement in the past, they died for this right to vote. They died to give us this right to vote. And that is why voter ID laws have to be upheld. It is important. It's not racist. It's not misogynist. It's not insensitive. It's good. It helps the betterment of society. Here's the article. Over 6,000 individuals registered to vote in New Hampshire for Election Day, November 8th, using out-of-state driver's licenses, and since then, the vast majority have neither obtained an in-state license nor registered a motor vehicle. Speaker of the New Hampshire House, Sean Jasper, a Republican, issued the findings on Thursday based on inquiries he made to the State Department, which oversees elections, and Department of Safety. Since election days, Republicans have charged that a significant number of non-resident Democrats, principally from Massachusetts, flowed into New Hampshire to vote illegally, tilting close elections to their party. Mr. Jasper's findings give credence, though not outright proof, to those allegations. The numbers read this way. 6,540 people voted using out-of-state licenses. As of August 30th, 1014, I think they meant 2014, about 15% had been issued New Hampshire driver's licenses. Unless they're talking now, maybe they're talking about the number here. 1,001. See, this is kind of off topic, but come on. If you're going to be basing off on people, try using a comma there so we can kind of indicate that these two are together. No, I digress. Let's move on. As of August 30th, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this is a typo of 2014 or if this is 1,014 people. I'm assuming And this is part of this number, so, alright. Anyways, of the remaining 5,526, only 3.3% had registered a motor vehicle in New Hampshire. Over 80%, 5,313, who used non-New Hampshire driver's licenses had neither a state license nor had registered a motor vehicle. There are 196 people today who are being investigated for voting illegally, both in New Hampshire and other states. Hillary Clinton defeated Donald Trump in New Hampshire by 2,736 votes. Democratic Senator Maggie Hassan defeated incumbent Republican Kelly Ayotte by 1,017 votes. Last February, while meeting with senators at the White House, Mr. Trump said he lost New Hampshire because thousands of Massachusetts residents crossed state lines to vote. He also said Mrs. Ayotte lost for the same reason, illegal voting. The liberal media dismissed his allegations. The Boston Globe called them groundless. The president has appointed a special commission to investigate voter integrity, led by Mike Pence. Democrats oppose the panel and have called for its demise. Well, I wonder why. Just look what happened. Already, there is evidence being brought up of voter fraud, mostly caused by Democrats. Not only that, I think this also ties into the election. When Project Veritas came out, which is James O'Keefe's investigative journalist organization, turned out that members of a super PAC related to Hillary Clinton were busing people around to different voting booths so they can vote over and over. And their repetitive votes could have had lasting damage in not only the federal elections, but definitely in the state elections, in your local state assemblies. Yeah, we got to be careful. And this brings me back to my intro. That's why it's important to have voter ID laws. We have to know, we have to make sure that what we hold so dear, the right to vote, isn't being jeopardized by crooks and criminals and those who have no business legally being in this country. At least 2 scientific surveys show that a large number of non-citizens register and vote illegally in the U.S. elections. One poll found that a large majority vote Democrat. So there we have it. There we have it. Now, whether Donald Trump's claim of millions of legal immigrants voting in California gave Hillary the popular vote, that's still open for speculation, and as of right now, there isn't substantial proof. Maybe there is. I don't know any proof that indicates he is correct in that assessment. However, we do know there is voting fraud. There is a lot of voter fraud. More evidence is being popped up every day. And this reinforces the notion that it is important to make sure the integrity of our voting system is secure. The Democrats hate this because they're going to lose votes from it. They would lose, for instance, if this is indeed true, which it could possibly be. It seems that that is indeed the case. Then that means Hillary Clinton lost New Hampshire, which isn't a huge deal because she still would have lost the election. But we would have another Republican senator in the Senate, not a Democratic senator. So that is how important voter ID laws can be. That is how dangerous voter fraud can be in this country. Because you can actually remove, you can replace somebody in the Senate by cheating. And that one vote can make a hell of a lot of difference when voting on legislation. Which is how we know this from John McCain voting no about the Obamacare repeal, the Obamacare Light. One vote. If John McCain didn't give that vote, the new healthcare bill would have passed. So one vote is very important. And who knows? If Kelly Ayotte did indeed win, if this turns out to be true, then it wouldn't matter what John McCain did. So it is important to dissect this information. It is important to verify its authenticity, to make sure people are following the law, not abusing it. And I'm done.